because everyone's got goals, but goals are meant to be broken. So we're gonna start making this our standard of achieving what we say we're gonna do. We can't just say random things that kind of feel good at the time and we give up tomorrow. We all have those thoughts that we don't really lock down to, and how do we prevent those?
I got this, man, I got it. I will not quit, I'm on it. Never rock it. Got the block lit, I'm toxic.
Welcome to the second segment of the time management goal setting master plan course. Before we get too much deeper into our time management, we do need to talk a little bit about goal setting. We won't go super deep. I'm gonna share one technique because time without a goal has no achievable standard. You have to know what you're using your time for and what the purpose of it is. Because if I'm just gonna go sit around with my kids for the next 3 hours, like, am I really achieving anything? Or are we gonna get on our cell phones, they're gonna play Roblox, I'm gonna scroll social media? Or if I tell myself, hey, for the next 3 hours, I'm gonna take my kids out, we're gonna go to ABC Funhouse, and then we're gonna go to ABC Steakhouse, and we're gonna go spend time together and put our cell phones away. I'm gonna get a lot more out of that 3 hours invested than if I'm just randomly wasting my time. Let's talk about one way for a task that we really wanna take out to set a goal so we can achieve a timeline for it. We're gonna go over setting clear goals, and on this video, we're gonna talk about the SMART system, the SMART approach to setting goals. So what does that mean? It's an acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. Let's go over those. So SMART, write that down and kind of stick with it. So let's go over the S. Specific. Your goal needs to be specific. It needs to be written out and it needs to be detailed. I can't just say, I want to make $1 million by the next 5 years. You know, okay, but I have no plan to get there. I have no real idea of what I'm gonna do. Now, what I could say is I'm going to open my own business selling flowers to high-end boutique stores. In the next 5 years, on year 5, I want to net $1 million, and I'm going to achieve that by bam, bam, bam. We'll go a little deeper, but your goal needs to be specific. You probably learned a little bit about this in school, the 5 W's. We're gonna reduce it here and move one down, but we're gonna go over the 4 W's. Your goal needs to have a specific what is trying to be achieved, what the action is, and just what it is. Who is involved, where it's taking place, and put in why you want to do it. Because if you don't know why you want to do it, like, it's just a pain in the butt to follow it. Next, so we got the S, we go on to the M, is measurable. Your goal has to have some sort of measurement to it, otherwise it's just hope. It's just hoping things happen. Measurable, what does that mean? You need to know how much, how many. In my last example of a flower shop with, making a net million, it's pretty simple. My how much is I want to net $1 million in my 5th years of business. So that is much and many. It's right in there. It is measurable. We can handle it. We know what $1 million looks like. We can count it. How will I know when I hit it? Now, that's a pretty easy one in my example. Some of your goals may get a little bit more complicated, and that's great because you need to write this down and you need to really break it down. But how will I know when I hit it? My 2029 year-end statement will have $1 million to the net line. Pretty dang simple. Achievable. Is it achievable? I want you to be very, very, very careful with this one here because it's easy to limit our beliefs, but at the same time, we have to be semi-realistic. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say you're 75 years old. I'm gonna go a little bit of an outlier because this is the only way this makes sense. Let's say you're 75 years old. You haven't been in the best shape in a while. You're 400 pounds, like craziness. And you want to run a record-paced marathon tomorrow. I hate to say it, there's just no possible way I see that happening. I would love someone to prove me wrong, but for the example, you kind of get what I'm saying. It's just unachievable. There's no way in human life that it works. Be careful though, because then you got guys like Elon Musk. The guy's landing rockets. He's got a better space program than our freaking government does. 10 years ago, people said you can't do that. There's no way it's ever gonna happen. You can't land a rocket. Technology's not there, blah, blah, blah. He went and did it. So just because your goals are big, just because people think you're crazy doesn't mean they're unachievable. So be very, very careful with that one. We're not gonna go there, but make up some other things of stuff you can't achieve no matter what. But most of this you're gonna be able to achieve. And you need to write down, how can I accomplish it? It may not even make sense to you up in here, but if you can logically break it down and put it on paper and look at it, it's like David Goggins said when he went to break the pull-up record. Everyone said it couldn't be done, you can't do it. What did he say? I did the math. He didn't look at doing X amount of pull-ups, he broke it down. How many pull-ups do I need to do an hour? How many do I do a minute? How do I pace myself? Do I start off fast? Do I start out slow? Do I do an even amount every minute? He did the math, he made a plan. How can you accomplish it? It might not make sense here, but if you can get it on paper logically, you have a guide. decide how realistic is the goal. The only time I want you to question this is if you look at it and logically it doesn't make sense. If you're looking at it going, I haven't even ran for the last 15 years of my life and I want to run a marathon at a 3-hour and 50-minute pace tomorrow, okay, not gonna happen. Pretty much anything else, unless it's one of them crazy, outliers, you got it. You want to jump 10 feet into the air, you probably can't do that, but keep it real. Make it big. Don't limit yourself. Relevant. This is a question you have to ask yourself because this is going to tell you whether or not, you're going to do it. Because one thing that we're going to focus on is this word here, goals. We're changing it to standard. Anytime you think the word goal, I want you to think the word standard because everyone's got goals, but goals are meant to be broken by definition. So we're gonna start making this our standard of achieving what we say we're gonna do. We can't just say random things that kind of feel good at the time and we give up tomorrow. We all have those thoughts that we don't really lock down to, and how do we prevent those? And how do we prevent pursuing them too much when they're not really that important to us? The relevance of our goal. Is it worth my time? That is it worthwhile? So that's basically saying like, is this even something I want to do? Is it something that I'm gonna put my heart into? Is it something that actually benefits me and I'm gonna continue? Or is it just like myself, a little hobby? I'm gonna go reload ammunition for a couple weeks. Cool, got all the stuff, did it for a while, know how, understand it, but reloading 100% of my ammunition, didn't need to do it. It ended up not being worth my while because there were other things I wanted to do. Is it the right time? That's a key question. Go back to my 1,000,000 in 5 year idea. That one, there is pretty much no wrong time. I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna hit it fast, I'm gonna go here, but let's say year 3, I'm on pace to hit my 1,000,000. I'm like, hey, I want to open up a second location. I get that little gut feeling. Hey, maybe I want to expand this way, but I'm having a problem with employee retention and my shop isn't being utilized. I only have a customer in there, 30% of the time. I rarely have 2 or 3 people in there at a time. Like I could deliver 200 more orders a week if I absolutely had to out of that single location. And that's not even stressing the location. So I would look at that and then go, okay, I'm on pace. I don't need to make any drastic changes. Maybe this isn't the right time to open the second location, but maybe I need to perfect my first location. Are you doing things at the right time? Is the goal the right time? And are you the right person? This is huge. Let's say I've got my beautiful flower shop and I'm like, gosh, I'm on pace. My next step is, dude, I want to blow up on social media. I want everyone to know who we are on Instagram. We're doing great, but we're going to do better. I'm a business owner. Let's say we're doing well. I'm getting to that $1 million pace. Like, am I the right person to spend all the time not wasted, but pouring into Instagram, or should I be working on the business? Because a lot of time you'll find out with your goals, it's just as simple as hiring the right person to help you achieve those goals. That's business and personal. Think about it. You want more time with your family. You are a business executive. You're not getting enough time with your kids. They need more dad time. They need more mom time. You come home and like you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're getting the kids, putting them to bed, and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed the entire day with them. Well, how would I eliminate that if I was an executive? I might just hire a chef, or I might hire an at-home nanny or maid so I can go ahead and get that time back. And then they're gonna take that time off my block and I'm just gonna reposition myself. Ask yourself, am I the right person to be accomplishing this? And sometimes, can I bring someone else in to help me accomplish what I want? I want more time with my family. I want less time cooking. Time. Your goal is nothing without a timeline. Your goal is a fantasy without a timeline. If you give yourself 8 weeks to clean a bedroom or, declutter the house, guess what? You're probably never gonna do it. Best case scenario, you do it between week 7 and 8. You're doing it at the last minute. We like to procrastinate. We like deadlines. It makes us work harder. It feels good. We feel the stress and we get the win. We're done with that. We're giving ourselves timelines to our goals that are gonna push our ass every day. So you need to ask yourself, when you set a goal, what timeline am I doing? In 6 months, what does it look like? Meaning, if it's a 5-year goal from now, I need to break it down year 4, 3, 2, 1, 6 months. What am I doing in 6 weeks? What am I doing today to achieve it? So when we start pushing on our time, we need to know why we're using it and what the purpose is. And this is professional and this is personal. So remember the SMART acronym. S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, T for time. So break that down real quick. Whatever you're looking to achieve next, write it out just like this and give yourself about a 1-page paper and outline all of this. You'll be able to see your goal more directly. You'll get the timeline and you'll have a driving force to push you to it every day.